Hey, what's up guys and welcome to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto was transported to the Justice League world. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was the same age as Itachi over an Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, the Justice League was a bit worried, as he told Wonder Woman to stay behind because recently she has been getting a bit aggressive, as she ended up breaking one of the man's arm on accident and dragged him straight towards a police station on the ground. So they told her to stay behind. The rest of the Justice League was tricked by the other alternative Justice League as they were captured in the other world. Wonder Woman didn't know why, as she decided to tell Naruto why she was so ticked off, as he just had this strange aura about him that lets you just reveal something deep and dark to him, as he sat there with her as the both of them talked, until she got the signal that there was an attack going on. As she made her way, she saw Naruto following behind her in the wheelchair, with Cram as well, as she laughed the way they were running. As she knew that Superman would be angry if she brought them along, but he told her that he wouldn't do any harm. As she sighed, she knew that she couldn't stop them, but she had faith that he wouldn't do any much damage. So she decided to make him come along. As they made their way there, as they arrived to see an alien destroying the city, as the Otherworld Justice League was there, as Superman lobotomized a man with his laser vision, as the people were wondering when did they start to do these things. As he said that it was time for a change, Wonder Woman stopped the group as she asked them why they did that, as she saw they were no different from Darkseid and the others, the way they justify things, as they were easily able to knock her out because it was a group of them. Before they could leave though, they were assaulted as Naruto took on the entire group of them. He completely flopped the floor with them as he thought they could actually take him on. As he took Superman off the group, as he told them if they don't bring back the other Justice League, he's gonna kill him. As he made his way, the other Justice League came back to the real world, as Flash was able to trick Batman, speeding up his heart to think that he had died. As he arrived here, as he heard the situation, Superman woke up as he saw the boy that managed to capture him. Every time he moved though, he got electrocuted as Naruto's healing Wonder Woman. The other Justice League came there as they explained the situation, and they let them go and let them return back to their own world. With that out of the way, they decided to have the meeting that they have been putting off, as they had to introduce their secret identity. They want to expand the league, so they want to have secret between the 7 of them right here. But then Shaira then explained about the military force that she worked with, as her group has been fighting the Poseidons for a long time now, because the Poseidons were back in the Guardians. But now that Naruto has completely eliminated the Poseidon, the Guardians are going down quickly, so there was no need for her to stay to Earth anymore, because they don't need to protect Earth from the invasion. As she told him that she was leaving, she already packed her things, as John quickly went after her. So yeah guys, it was basically let's put that off. You guys can switch across the page and check it for yourself. So what is to be in this new episode? The Justice League meeting was interrupted by Hot Girl Revelation and her decision to leave the Earth right away. But after her departure, the remaining 6 came back to the meeting room. John, do you want us to postpone this one later date? Superman asked. Don't mind me, said John. Though he looked conflicted, his expression, it turned composed and understanding. Personal matters cannot come before Justice League business. As Shaira said, I was a soldier as well. I understand her decision. She cannot disobey the orders coming from above. Superman nodded, as he then spoke once again. Though Hawkgirl leaving us is unfortunate, there's nothing that we can do about it. We have to move on and work harder in order to protect our planet. And now that we know each other's identities, it's time that we discuss another very important issue, funding. Not only will we need a much bigger headquarters, which would probably cost us dozens of millions, we also need more spaceship, specialized equipment, and many other facilities. Enough to accommodate maybe dozens or hundreds of heroes. Batman spoke. As Bruce Wayne, I'm a billionaire. However, I cannot support all the costs by myself. Not because I can't afford it, but a large sum of money like that disappearing without any explanation would attract too much attention and expose the fact that somehow I'm a part of the Justice League. The government is most likely paying very close attention to all the wealthy people, because they know that the Justice League would not be able to maintain themselves without large financial backing. To be honest, Flashhead, I don't see how much help we can be. I am just a forensic scientist at the police central department. John is a retired soldier. Wonder Woman is an exiled princess, and Martian Manhunter has no worldly possessions. We aren't poor, of course, but we're not rich either. What about Aquaman? Have you tried to contact him? He's the king of Atlantis. He's probably wealthier than I am, if you were to count all the sunken treasures at the bottom of the oceans. Sunken treasures only he had access to. He doesn't have justifies expensive to anyone either, said Batman. That's a great idea. We just have to find a way to convince him to support us. I will talk to him myself, Superman said. I can even provide the Justice League with highly advanced technology from Krypton, and even money if you come down to it. Over the years, I gathered many valuable things in my Fortress of Solitude. As Clark Kent, I may not be a millionaire, but as Superman, I could always get some rare space material at NASA and other parties will be willing to spend a fortune for. I will get into contact with Green Arrow and see if he can support us as well, said Batman. The others made a confused face. They did not hear about that name until then. He's a small, local vigilante operating in Star City. I cannot tell you his identity without his approval first, but I can tell you, he's just as rich as Batman, said Superman. As Martian Manhunter then spoke, I have been contacted by a very wealthy man named Maxwell Lord 2 weeks ago, only a few days after our clash against Naruto Uzumaki in Jump City. It was not long after Superman suggested to expand Justice League. Maxwell Lord offered to support the Justice League financially, but hearing the way Martian Manhunter treated Love made the others curious. But what? Is there an issue with his character? Wonder Woman asked. I don't know, said Martian Manhunter. What do you mean, said Batman. I could not read his mind, he's a telepath just like me. Bruce Wayne made a thinking posture. I know Maxwell Lord is the head of Shintech Consortium, one of the wealthiest men in the world. A rather unscrupulous businessman, but no one ever get that rich by playing nice against the competition. But as far as I know, he has broke no laws. He has not sided with the government either. He's rather oftenly bumping heads with them. I don't find it weird that a billionaire would offer to support us. I mean, they aren't blind. They saw what we went through to protect everyone. I mean, Darkseid attacked the Earth a few years ago in pyramids, and his race almost took over the Earth 2.5 years ago. And then there was this Guardian ship threatening to destroy the city a few weeks ago. As Green Lantern nodded in agreement. True, if Maxwell Lord wants to support us, I say we go for it. We need all the help we can get. As the six of them continued to discuss matters, but then the alarm started to blare. As Flash was the first one to arrive in the control room, as he saw one of the videos playing of the satellite. As a very large man was approaching the Earth, as he was riding a space bike. As Superman arrived and saw the appearance of the alien. Lobo? What is he doing here? The bike burst through one of the windows of the watchtower as a terrible vacuum of space started to suck everything inside the watchtower. But a new glass window lowered itself and covered the hole, stopping the suction. Superman was the first to react as he flew to the newcomer in anger. What is the meaning of this, Lobo? He asked. You made me a promise that you would never come to Earth or cause trouble for me or anyone else living here. Don't get your panties in a bunch, Boy Scout. I didn't come to Earth, technically. We're still in space. And I didn't come to cause trouble. I'm here for a delivery. See, the main man keeps his word. As he said that, he pulled on a chain as a large metallic box slammed on the floor in front of him. The box was large for a human to fit in, but it was heated up red, almost to the point of melting. What delivery? For who? Asked Green Lantern. Not for you, Green Dark. Don't pipe up, Lobo said, as Green Lantern was already itching for a fight, as he had a lot of anger inside of him now from Hawker leaving earlier that day. But Superman raised his arm and stopped him from starting a fight they could not easily finish. He understood that the Zornian did not come looking for trouble, and he did not break his promise either. At that moment, Naruto walked through the doors of the control room. Sorry guys, delivery is for me, he said, as Krama slowly opened his eyes. A massive, killer intent and bloodlust flooded the room as he jumped off Naruto's shoulder and became large. Where is the rat? He said. His voice sounded demonic, filled with killing intent. What is going on? Naruto Control your fox or it might wreck the entire watchtower if you start to fight, Batman said. Don't kill him right away, Kurama, said Naruto. I want to hear the bastard say it. I want to hear why he betrayed me after 20 years of working together. What gave him the courage to backstab me? He was crazy for money, but not crazy enough to forfeit his life for it. He should have known the moment he betrayed me, this was how it was going to end. He spoke calm, but the tone in his voice even made Lobo take a step back, as this Naruto was no longer like his teenage self as he was seeing that a lot of times earlier. He would no longer brush over someone when they betrayed him or try to have him killed. I don't know what's going on, but you're not going to kill anyone under my eyes as long as we're here, Superman said as he stepped forward. All of a sudden, 4 shark clones appeared next to Naruto, as the clones went through hand sign and blew a gate of wind from their mouth, as it was a great breakthrough. But Naruto was not in the mood of making his technique names known. Barely 1 second passed and him doing all of this, as the members of the Justice League were thrown back to the opposite side of the room. But none of them were hurt, he just pushed them to the side, as the 4 clones then went around in a square shape, as they went through hand sign and created a dome around him, Lobo, and the Kyuubi, and the box. Unnerved by this, Lobo pulled a massive crowbar as he narrowed his eyes. Don't worry, this is just a barrier to prevent the Justice League from annoying me like before. As the Justice League members got to their feet, this is a 4-corner, valid field formation, a barrier. Unlike other barrier spells, not only protect the things inside of it, anyone that touched anything will be set ablaze. For your own good, do not attack it. Unconvinced by that, Superman fly forward as he punched the wall of light. The barrier trembled by his strength, but he cried out in pain as his arm became enveloped in flames. If it was regular fire, he would not bat an eye. He could even withstand the flames of the sun. Mystic energies, however, was a different thing altogether, as he blew a breath of cold air from his mouth as his arm became encased in a block of ice. Don't be careless, guys. This is a magic spell, he said. Wonder Woman couldn't help but ask, why are you so eager to attack them? Momentarily, the other members of Justice League looked at her blankly. Neither Lobo, Naruto, or Kurama are from Earth, and the one that Lobo captured is not from Earth either. You're making the same mistake you made when he came for the girl, picking up a fight for no reason. He doesn't want to fight us. Look, he even cast a spell to keep us from interfering. Superman clenched his fist as the block of ice broke. He understood Wonder Woman's reasoning, and he logically agreed with what she said. But the idea of seeing someone get executed under his very eyes revolted him to no end. You want us just watching him kill someone? What if he's innocent? Flash said. That couldn't be farther from the truth. Naruto told me about him. His name is Ruinak. That man used to be his information broker for 20 years. They were partners. But Ruinak betrayed him, sent him right into Poseidon's trap, who wanted to capture and dissect him. That is what led to the Poseidon's annihilations. A few weeks ago, Wonder Woman said. The rest of the Justice League stopped charging the barrier when they hear her explanation. While they were talking, Lobo opened a large metal box, as a disgusting smell then filled the entire area, as the Justice League put their hand over their nose. As Naruto's wearing his mask, so no smell could be filtered. It smelled like burnt flesh. What did you do to him? Kurama asked. He's been crying like a scared schoolgirl in my ears for hours, begging for me to release him. He kind of got on my nerves, so I roasted his ass a bit with my ancients. But I guess I caught the rat, Lobo said as he laughed. You imbecile, said Naruto. You were supposed to bring him alive. What do you even bring him here for anymore? Lobo came and placed the arm on Naruto's shoulder, like they were drinking buddies in a bar. Oh, come on, Goldilocks, don't be like that. You were gonna bust his head anyway, so what's the big deal? Look at the good part, your fox get to eat fresh to grill, right barbecue. Naruto grabbed Lobo's arm and twisted, as Lobo cried out, ouch, ouch. Let me go, what's your problem, man, he said. Watch your mouth when you talk about Kurama, said Naruto, as he kicked Lobo away as he crashed on the ground. And just so you know, this doesn't count as you. Repeat in my favor. Hey, don't think you can swindle the main man, said Lobo. I searched for this rat for weeks and chased after him through 3 planned to resist him. Before I finally caught him, he was a slippery one in my books. I more than pay you what I owed. Naruto sighed. Greatest bounty hunter my ass. Why did I have any expectation from you anyway? My fault for just an idiot. If you want something done, do it yourself. As Lobo grinned and he saw Naruto not contradicting him, I knew that we would see eye to eye. If you need my help next time, well, you know where to find me. But no freebies. The main man ain't doing any more charity. As Naruto closed canceled the barrier, as Lobo hopped on his bike and burst through another window, as the vacuum again until another window came down. Jesus Christ, said Green Lantern as he came closer, as he saw the half-melted rat. I think I'm gonna be sick, said Flash. What should we do with this? Asked Wonder Woman. Maybe your fox can eat it. Pretty sure he's eaten far worse things before, Superman said. The moment he said that, tail smashed right into him, sending him breaking through the wall. Why don't you eat a piece of shit? What do you think I am? Your garbage disposal? Said Krama. As Krama was already angry for Lobo not bringing him back alive, as he wanted to torture the rat and let him scream in agony. Superman disrespecting him like that was the last slip. As Naruto saw the others, in all fairness, that was a bad move from Superman. He had it coming. Your fox attacked Superman just because of a few words. Green Lantern said his power ring glowing. How about I get some dog shit and place on the floor and tell you to eat it? You okay with that? Or maybe just because he's like a fox. He's lesser than human, said Naruto. You're a Green Lantern. You of all people should not discriminate. You should know that humans are just a fraction of the sentient, living beings when you take the universe at a large. That's different, Green Lantern said, as his power ring started to glow, as he looked all ready to fire off a blast. Shut up, said Naruto, as he instantly froze. Someone like him should not lose his senses from someone killing intent, but he got paralyzed when Naruto spoke in that demonic voice. But it was a jutsu that Naruto used that was mixed with his voice to paralyze your opponent. As Kurama got back small, as he blew a sigh. Let us go, Naruto. I'm not angry anymore. As Kurama knew that Naruto always got worked up and pissed off when someone treated him like a mindless animal, as he didn't want Naruto to hurt them. And also, they did not have a spaceship to leave, so it would be bad. Time skip. How do we always end up fighting with them? Flash muttered. After Naruto and Kurama left the hall room. He really doesn't stomach us, does he? That creature may look like a fox from Earth, but he's not an animal. He's someone with intelligence, just like the rest of us, and a personality. It's not that Naruto Uzumaki doesn't stomach us. The reason being the fox is like family to him, and he doesn't like when someone insults him. Martian Manhunter said, what Superman said was very rude. I guess it was my mistake, but that was quite the overreaction Superman said. As he was dusting off his suit, there was not even a scratch on him. I didn't think the fox would be so proud and react like that. Batman called out to Wonder Woman as she was trying to slip away from the room unnoticed. Wonder Woman, where are you going? I'm going to check up on those two and keep an eye on them. Someone has to make sure they don't do anything crazy. Before Batman could say anything else, she flew out of the room. As when she left, they turned their head as they looked at the box with a still melted rat inside it. Realized why the princess had went away so quickly. We were dukes, Superman said. Keeping an eye on them, she left so she wouldn't have to view the corpse. Athena wisdom, indeed. Moments later, having escaped from dealing with the remains, Wonder Woman smiled. She arrived in front of Naruto's room. She was about to knock, but she stopped to share the conversation from inside. 500 mass units off. Delix. Self-cluster. What the hell? Why don't you just rob me already, Naruto said. Mama, don't be so quick to anger, Mr. Uzumaki. You've been in the business for so long, you should know how the supply and the demand rules work already, don't you? Certainly, in ordinary condition, this ship would be a bit cheaper. But when you think about the sudden rush that you wanted it, as Wonder Woman heard the other voice, it must be Naruto communication device. It sounded like a message from a merchant. As she knew that was not from Earth, it was an alien. You call it a bit cheaper, said Naruto. As I said, on just short notice, I doubt anyone could give you a better offer. If you think about it, the price isn't that unreasonable. Of course, I do have better options available, but the price for those would be a bit higher. No thank you, I'll buy it from someone else, said Naruto. Good luck with scamming other people. Wait, how about 450? No, how about 400 units? This is Naruto cut him off, as he shut off the transmitter. Do not wait outside, Diana. Come in, said Naruto. Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, she said as she entered the room. It was a small room they transformed into a bedroom for Naruto to live in while he recovered. It was not large, but had a bed, a desk, and a wardrobe. Not that he ever used a wardrobe. It's okay, said Naruto. There was no secret. As she came behind him and bent down right over his shoulder, as he smelled a rather sweet fragrance. You're looking for a spaceship, she said, as she saw the pictures on the table. At the moment Naruto was browsing a black market interdimensional portal, one could find anything there: weapons, warships, robots, living slave, even viruses. As long as you had what they wanted, anything could be purchased. Yes, I've recovered completely by now, he said. Ah, you're leaving already, she said. He turned his chair around and looked at her. You sound disappointed. He was not wearing his mask at that moment as she looked right in his eyes. I am, she admitted, much to his surprise. I enjoyed your company over the past week. As he stood up from his chair, but seeing that he was sitting down at the moment and she was standing right over him, when he got up they were really close. It was the same for me as well, Naruto said. But he didn't move back or anything, he just stood there, standing face to face with someone so close. It was a new experience for the Amazon princess. especially it being a man. She had danced with Bruce Wayne before, but his indifference had prevented anything from building between them. So what she was feeling right now was different from anything before. Those red eyes staring right into her soul brought her a funny feeling in her stomach, and even though they were not touching, she could feel the warmth coming from his body, not doing it consciously. The tip of her tongue came out and wet her lips. As Naruto looked down, as he ended up following the action, his body just moved on his own, reacting, as she watched his lips as well. The sound of swallowing came from Naruto as she stepped forward as she whispered, "Do you really have to leave?" she asked. "I would love to have the chance to know you better," she said. The charm of her innocence and the way she spoke lit a fire in him. His mind was clouded, but he spoke. "Your friends don't really like me, but I do," she said. "I like you." As she stepped even closer, their face inches away, their nose almost touching. It was like time froze at that moment for him. He could feel her warm breath on his lip. If her breath was like that, how would those lips taste? His red eyes stared into her blue eyes. He could even see his reflection in her eyes. He wanted to kiss her so badly. "What is stopping you from doing just that?" a voice in his mind asked. Indeed, what was stopping him? Nothing. Reaching that conclusion, time started to flow up again. As he moved forward and kissed her, the both of them numbed to the touch at first, but then pleasure flooded both of their senses as they started to react once again. Though it lasted for a short time, when they broke apart, they were breathless. Both their faces were flush. This time, Diana moved forward as she kissed him. As he wrapped his arm around her waist, pulling her closer. She didn't know what this feeling was, but this feeling brought up something inside her that she never felt before. She had fooled around with some of her Amazon sisters sometime before, so she was no stranger to kissing. But this was just completely different, as they lost track of time. But all good things must come to an end, as a beeping sound came from his communicator. It was like a spell was broken as both of them parted away. The room was completely silent except for the beeping, as Naruto was still holding on to her, even though they were separated. As Naruto didn't know what it was, but how could someone be this beautiful? "I don't know what came over us, but I don't want it to end," he said. I never felt anything like this before," she said. "Don't leave. I'm not letting you go after this." As she kissed him once more. As the beeping had stopped, "Come with me, Diana," he said, as he broke the kiss. "The Justice League cannot control me, and they are afraid of what they can't control. I cannot live here like a caged beast, under their watch 24/7. I cannot trade off my freedom." She raised her face. "I can't leave the earth. My mother, my sisters, are here. My friends are here as well. Stay with me," she said. "I am sure they will grow to accept you in time." As they were hugging at this moment, as he kissed her on the forehead, as he sighed deeply before breaking the hug, as her eyes became moist as she understood what he meant by that. From breaking the hug after she asked him the question, as he pulled out a scroll and placed his hand on it as it would have poof, as another communication device came out of it. "I would have been willing to make home my new earth, but Justice and I just don't mix. We are like oil and water, even so. That doesn't mean that we cannot continue to see each other and keep in communication." As he handed her the pad, "Take this, it's a lightweight communication device. It ignores the space-time laws, and we can talk to each other anywhere, anytime, no matter where I am in the universe. All major power uses technology to communicate. It was produced by the gods of New Genesis. As of how it works, I have no idea. There becomes a point where the lines of magic and science blur. As far as I know, this technology could be considered magic." Though the prospect of not being able to stay together was paining her, she smiled at his words. She understood that they live in different worlds. He was like a bird freely soaring in the skies, traveling the universe, while the Justice League was like a frog trapped at the bottom of the well. They were too different. They could never see eye to eye. But there can still be a chance. Once the Justice League becomes strong, and they no longer have to depend on my help, I could be with him. At the moment she could not leave, the people of Earth needed her strength. But they still have a chance because they were both immortal. Time was not their enemy like it was for regular people. Only their feelings matter. "I want to come with you," she said. "I will come with you, but not now. Maybe in a few years. Will you wait for me?" she asked. "Definitely," said Naruto, as a smile of relief flashed across her face. "Are you going to take Starfire with you as well?" she asked. "Starfire?" he said, confused. After Coriandar became friends with Supergirl, she changed her name to Starfire. It meant the same thing, it was just her name translated in English. "I don't see a reason to take her. We're actually not that close, you know. She was just my bounty, someone I had to rescue and protect. She has also found a place here that she could call her own." Diana nodded. "Yes, she's been living with Supergirl almost since 2 weeks ago. She started to attend high school with her. They're like best friends already. I'm glad to hear that. She has had a rough life till now, She deserves all the happiness she can get. Come to think of it, where's Krama? When Diana entered the room, Krama was there under the bed, chewing on some apples. The thought that Krama was still there, as he was watching the entire thing, made Naruto's face become red. He must have left the room a while ago. Oh, look at that. You can blush too, she said. How endearing. As she giggled, she cuffed his face to her hands to prevent him from looking away. As he hugged her, as she hugged him back. No cheating in the meantime, she said, as she pressed her head into his shoulder, not looking up at him. What? Cheating? Who would even like someone that demonic face like mine, he said. Oh, I remember something about the Queen of Avrak, wanting her babies. Krama, that bastard, said Naruto. No, not just that. I saw the doe eyes that Supergirl and Starfire threw at you every time they come to visit you at the Watchtower. Oh, so that's why you asked if Starfire was coming to me. You were worried, he said, as he laughed. She looked up as he saw her face flush with jealousy. So cute, he said. As he knew if Krama was here, he would have laughed as well. A warrior princess acting jealous over two teenage girls. She was just too cute. If anything, I should be worried that you would forget about me and go for a handsome man. She shook her head, not a chance. While my civilian identity be rather popular man, I really interact with regular people. I couldn't really be one either. As for who I am, Wonder Woman, it seems that man don't really like me, she said. As Naruto looked at her strangely. What should that look? She asked. You're totally clueless, aren't you? Naruto said. Idea came to his mind. Come, let's go to the conference room and activate Earth Internet from there. I want to show you something. She wondered what he was talking about as she followed him there, holding onto his hand. As the both of them made their way and sit down. Go to the search bar and type in Wonder Woman hentai, he said. Okay, now go to the image section. The moment she did that, the mouse in her hand was crushed. What in Athena name is this? I swear on the sticks. She could not even find her words. I know it's not you, said Naruto. Then she could still not find her words. The Earthlings seem to have an unwritten rule on their internet. If something exists, they're spawned for it. Give it some time and I'm sure that even I and Krama will appear. Naruto has lived in the Watchtower for almost 1 month now. With the help of his shadow clones, he was able to speak and write the English language without even a translation device. But he was still a bit off on some things, but he became very close to Earth Internet. Oh well, said Naruto, look, there's even an image of you in your new costume. You changed your costume less than a month ago. Pervert, really work fast. When they put their mind to it, huh? Said Naruto, as he chuckled a bit, as she punched a hole right through the monitor, breaking it apart. As he laughed out loud. Now, don't be angry. I just want to show you how wrong you were about man not liking you. Now you see, you're one of the most desired women on this planet. They're just scared to show it to your face. Gotta say though, I love this new costume more than the old one, said Naruto. Her anger melted away rather quickly as a shy expression came on her face. You think so? She said, as she saw his eyes roamed over her body. She still had her golden lasso, her bracelets, and her golden tiara, but the rest of her costume was different. A white pair of skirt. It was a piece of clothing that looked like a skirt from the outside, but it was a pants on the inside. As she had knee-high golden boots. Her red top was replaced by a white top, with the golden owl extending its wings. It was the goddess Athena symbol. As she had a white cloak over her back as well. As she wore two wing-like things on the side of her face. Yes, absolutely, Naruto said. One can tell that you're royalty just by looking at you, he said. As she smiled, she looked down while playing her strand of her long hair. As Naruto realized that she was weak to compliments. Not long after that, they became enveloped in their own little love world again. Time skip 4 days later, as another ship came by. It was no longer than 100 feet. There was not many members in Justice League there at that moment, because Naruto did not tell them about his plan to leave. Besides Wonder Woman, who spent the entire 4 days with him, the only other person who was there was Martian Manhunter. As she poured everything to a last goodbye kiss, even with the Martian Manhunter there. Remember, whenever you want to talk, call me on my pad. And if there's anything you need, just call me, he said, as he took her in his arms one more time. Time skip, as he could no longer see Earth. As Naruto sighed, as his mask was on. You don't need to feel lonely. You can come and see her anytime you want. Said Naruto. You know, I even think it's a good thing you don't stay together now, said Krama. Why do you say so? I thought you liked her, said Naruto. I do like her. She's a good human. But in the last 4 days, you've been eating each other's faces non-stop. We did not... Naruto just stopped as Krama gave him a look. As Naruto stopped, maybe it was because of the first time he fallen in love for a real woman. Or maybe it's because he has been repressing his feelings and nature for a very long time, trying to find a way back to his home world. The real reason was not very clear for him neither, but the passion he felt for Wonder Woman was like a smoldering volcano. She was not indifferent either after living for almost 3 millennia with no man around. The two of them had spent 100% of the last 4 days together. They did not make the final step yet, but other than that, they did not leave from each other's arms much to the rest of the Justice League. Note that there were only 5 of them since Hawkgirl left as well. As Wonder Woman, do not leave near the room. If your feelings for each other are real, the distance between your love will only make your feelings grow stronger. But if the love you feel is just because of physical attraction and lust, it will die down because of distance, said Grandma. And how do you know that, said Naruto? I see that happen many times, with many humans. I lived for over 1,000 years. And don't forget, I was still inside meat on your mother for over 80 years. There was not much left for me to do rather than observe the humans outside. I have my negative emotion sense as well. I certainly know more than you do at the very least. Humans are very fickle creatures, and their emotions can get overwhelming them. Best friends can become enemies in seconds. Despite years of friendships, and children can turn against their parents quickly as well. You and Diana met only a few weeks ago, and you've been together for 4 days now. It's a few years too quick for you to just put all of your feelings in her like that. Chances are you're just lusting for each other. It's too early to tell. Deep inside, you're to understand the truth in Kurama words. You understand exactly what he was saying. You may be right, Kurama-sensei, he said, half serious, half joking. I guess some time apart to serve us well, both me and Diana. Time skip. Is Naruto still in meditation? Asked the hologram of Wonder Woman. Still there, said Kurama, as he was about to satisfy elephant now. Is that a dinosaur? Wonder Woman said. I have no clue what a dinosaur is, said Kurama, but it's delicious and huge. As he had a large animal in front of him, as he started to devour his prey, it only took 2 minutes as everything was gone. With his hunger over now, he started to talk again. He might not look the part, but that idiot a sage. Stay a few days or weeks, converse into nature, is good for him. In that state, his body recover easily, and it get purified, and is more attuned to natural energy. If it's so good for him, why didn't you go there first? But before Kurama could respond, a voice spoke. Be it pure or it polluted, natural energy in its raw form is quite dangerous. I don't only use natural energy. I combine natural energy with my own chakra to create senjutsu. But then I was hurt too badly and in no condition to properly manipulate natural energy. If I'd absorbed any more of it that time, I would have died. Going to Earth seeking sanctuary was a better option, because I know the Justice League wouldn't turn us down if I came wounded like that. I didn't have fuel to come to this place even if I wanted anyway. This planet is extremely far away from the Vega system. It is several galaxies away. So, how are you, Diana? As Naruto showed his face, do you miss me already? At the sight of him, a smile came on her face. But she tried to speak as nonchalant as possible. I'm just checking upon you to see if you're okay. It's been a week already, she said. Yeah, it's been a week. Like if you haven't called me 5 times, starting from the first day we left, said Kurama. Her face suddenly flushed. Kurama, you said you wouldn't tell. As Kurama started to laugh. I'll leave you two lovebirds by yourself, he said as he made his way off. As Naruto placed a hand on his heart, hearing that she tried to contact him 5 times already while he was meditating, it filled him with warmth. Ah, my heart, he said. This is no good. She's too cute. Any more than this, and I'll have to go back to Earth this instant. As Naruto leaned against a tree and motioned for the drone to come near to him. I missed you too, he said. Tell me, what have you been up to these days? Is everything alright over there? Well, it became rather hectic after Justice Lord incident, she said, happy for a change of conversation. The government of the USA is now paranoid, thinking that someday the Justice League might also follow in their footsteps to assassinate the president and take over the planet. The United Nations didn't respond to the Justice League becoming bigger either, saying there is no reason for us to mass that much power. It's been one annoying meeting after another. No wonder Earth is so backwater to other civilizations in the universe. It is also divided. Races, religions, so many fighting against each other. For their own interests. How can it progress like that? She inwardly agreed with what he said as she sighed. The Justice League need to become stronger. Earth has had too many close calls. From what I heard, Darkseid almost took over the Earth a few years ago and beat up Superman very badly, almost killing him. It was only thanks to the High Father, ruler of Genesis, that Earth was spared. Then there was Imperium and his race too, a year ago. They almost destroyed the planet. We defeated them by the skin of our teeth. But the talk about Justice League has not been talked about until you came around, she said. Huh? Why me? Well, you gave us one more wake-up call. We were reminded once more 7 people aren't enough to protect Earth completely. That we need more strength, more manpower. As Naruto scratched his cheek. Don't mean to brag, but there aren't many people as strong as I am. You can't really compare me to the other alien invaders out there. When your skin is thick enough to brag like that. Why, are you scratching your cheek, she said. Hey, he said. As the two of them started to laugh. Still, she said, things are coming together well. We already got more than 30 new members over the past new week. The two girls you saved, Starfire and Supergirl, have joined the league as well. Superman also roped in Aquaman and convinced him to support it financially. We have another billionaire supporting us, Maxwell Lord. And there are two members amongst the Justice League that are very wealthy as well. So financial is not our issue. And we get new members every day, many humans from all over the world. We are international already. We got members not only from the USA, but Africa, Europe, and India as well. Even though he didn't know most what she was talking about, he listened to her talk. Actually, we found something interesting. Japan has created a system different from others. They have agency of system that manage and control the meta-humans that are willing to serve. By the way, Japan is a country in the Asian continent with over 100 million people. That sounds interesting. How does that work, said Naruto, as he was curious. Well, the hero agency are regulated by law and they pay tax to the government as well. In exchange, they can hire and manage all the heroes. They still wear costume to protect themselves from the villains. Find out their identity, but they no longer have to have a normal job as well. Their work is considered legal now, not a vigilante act anymore. They can work full-time as heroes and get paid for it. The government even created a high school to teach humans how to be a hero, kids. Everything is super organized over there. When I found out about their system, I realized we never been to Japan to help out with anything before. Because they're handling it perfectly by themselves. They don't need the Justice League over there. Like that two of them talk without even noticing pass enough time. But when the sky starts to get dark, they notice. I must have bored you, she said, talking about hero stuff for all that long. Naruto shook his head. Don't worry about it, it was kind of refreshing. I never talked with a girl like this until I met you. You know, you're my first girlfriend, have I told you that? That's surprising to say the least. Hey, why so? I never been the most popular guy around. You must be joking, right? You have this charm that draws people towards you. Even Green Lantern, Superman and the others. Did you not notice they were torn between liking you and wanted to drive you away because of how dangerous you are? Naruto chuckled at her words. He was not convinced. No way. Back in my home world, I was an outcast. It was only the last few months in my stay there that things started to pick up. For me. But that's only because I convinced someone to bring people back from the dead. Until then, since Grandma didn't have me, I was just a demon brat. Into the eyes of ordinary people, while for the government of my country, I was the human sacrifice. A weapon of war. On my home planet, people that have demons didn't have them, were used to maintain the 5 great nations of the continent. You could say that we were the nuclear missiles of the earth. Whoever had the strongest or a higher number held the advantage. That's horrible, she said. He smiled though. He did not seem that affected by his past anymore. It wasn't all that bad though. I had good times as well, he said. And I think it was because I was a Jinchuriki. I got to meet great people as well. My mentor, Jiraiya. A grandma figure named Snappy, and also Gara, a friend who was just like me. That reminded me, Jiraiya Sensei could see you. Even his ghost would die of blood loss. He was a massive pervert. The biggest pervert I ever met. Seeing you, especially when you were in your previous costume, would have been fatal. What's that supposed to mean? What's wrong the way I used to dress, she asked. You want this straight answer or a sensible one? She narrowed her eyes. Despite knowing that it was stupid to say, he said anyway. Your costume looked like something a hooker would wear. As she screamed out his name. Time skip. Say, Naruto, would you come to spend the Christmas with me? She asked. It is a winter holiday that people celebrate on Earth. Originally, it was supposed to be a religious celebration, but it lost its meaning with time. Now it's mostly a holiday where people exchange gifts and spend their time together with family. Oh, we have something similar like that back in my home world. It was called the Rand Festival, but I never celebrated before, he said. I didn't really celebrate the Christmas on the Earth either, because I only came last year, and I didn't have anyone to celebrate it with back then. But she said in a soft voice, now I have you. I never been a big fan of the holidays, to an orphan like me. It used to be a time of the year when I was the loneliest, but now I'm looking forward towards it. I'm glad I met you, Diana. I'm in love with you, said Naruto. As her face became all red, as she smiled shyly, as she rolled a strand of her hair on her finger, as she looked down, from preventing him from seeing her flustered face. That look will be the death of me someday, said Naruto, as he gripped his hand at his chest when he saw her reaction. She was as weak to his compliments as ever, and he was as weak to her cuteness as ever. Seriously, you haven't bothered to study the geography of Earth, but you study all kinds of these slams. From the internet, she said. What's wrong with the internet, he said to her. If there's anything great at Earth, it's the internet. I quite enjoyed it, especially the digital art with you in them. Look, I even download some of them for my own use. As he grabbed another device and showed her an image of herself at the beach. as she was wearing a white bikini top and leaning against a beach bar, as her breast was right on the table, as her long black hair was wet, and her hair was coming down as she was biting her lip. Obviously, it was a fake picture, as Diana exploded. What do you mean for your own use, Naruto? I swear to great Athena, when I get my hands on you. Time skip, as Naruto was lying down as he wondered, was this what he was missing for 100 years? In his goal to find a way back home, he has been purposely avoiding contact with people. And because of the destruction and void, everything that went on, he became cold. But in just this short period of time, that layer over his heart just cracked away. As she sneaked past the defensive and slipped right into his heart. There was over a dozen job offers for him. After the rat has been killed, many people want to get him on their service, but he was in no mood to work or do anything else. Now all he could think about was Diana. Suddenly, a loud beeping sound could be heard. As he looked at the device, he did not recognize who was it calling him, as he ignored it, but the beeping did not stop at all. Fine, goddammit. I hope their house is burned or something, because I would be pissed if they bothered me for no reason. As his mask materialized over his face, when he hit the accept button, it was a muscular man, as he was dressed in a red suit, with a helmet over his head. It was a winged, silver helmet. What the hell, said Naruto? Though they never met until then, Naruto knew who this man was. It was no other than Orion, one of the strongest and most valued gods of New Genesis. He was a rather famous character in the universe for his clashes after clashes with Darkseid. Someone like this calling him like this was not something he not see coming. I am Orion, of New Genesis, he introduced himself. I know who you are. What does a god need for a mortal like me, Naruto asked. Though his words seemed polite, the tone he spoke it with was far from that. He had no reference for anyone who called themselves gods or claimed to be gods. Not after witnessing the terror of the void. In front of something like that, gods were nothing at all. Whether Orion noticed his tone or not, he just answered, I need you to kill my father, he said. I beg your pardon, said Naruto. You want me to kill High Father? I don't kill everyone, Bob. Look here and read what he said, as he pulled out one of his business card, as he said that he killed assassination bounties, scumbags only. Orion shook his head. High Father is not my original father. My real father is Darkseid. Previously, Apocalypse and Genesis has been locked in a war for thousands of years. However, a truce went on when High Father and Darkseid exchanged their newborn sons. Darkseid's son Me was given to High Father, and in vice versa, for High Father's son. That terms was not known to the general public. Why ask me of all people, said Naruto? Better yet, why not do it yourself? I have tried to kill him my entire life, but I could not. He's too powerful, always surrounded by his army, and his demons. And now with the truce between Apocalypse and New Genesis, invading Apocalypse by myself would spark the start of a new great war. I will never do something like that. I will not spit on High Father's efforts to maintain the peace. But, although immortal, you have enough power to destroy a planet without using technology. That is a feat I could not replicate. You can destroy Apocalypse and Darkseid altogether. I'm afraid I'll have to refuse, said Naruto. As Orion became angry instantly. Why? He shouted. Billions of people were massacred by Darkseid and his army. You have the power to end it all. Why aren't you doing anything? As Naruto stood there rather calm, he could thus not willingly destroy a planet. He nearly paid for his life for amassing that much power before. Its power was restricted by the environment if you want to go all out, as that power could work against him and poison him, like it did on the Poseidon planet. There are limits to my power, said Naruto. There are certain conditions to be fulfilled for me to obtain that kind of strength. If those conditions are fulfilled, yes, killing Darkseid, or you, or anyone, really, would be like killing chickens. Otherwise, I can't defeat a god like Darkseid, to say nothing of his army, or those mutated beasts you call parademons. If he were to fight anyone on Mount Miyaboku, he would stomp on those gods like they were nothing but bugs. But on a planet like Apocalypse, on a wasteland, where there was nothing but fire and smoke, he wouldn't be at that level. But even if I was strong enough to do it, I would still not accept your bounty. As Naruto could see that the man was getting angrier and angrier. Supposedly you're a god. Don't you know how the universe works? Do you need me, a mortal, to spell it out for you? Seeing Orion not reply, Naruto continued. Light and darkness, good and evil, life and death, creation and destruction. The universe cannot exist without a balance of both. No matter how much you fight against the evil, you will never completely eradicate it. I annihilated the Poseidon race almost 2 months ago. Do you think that my deed was all that great? A bitter laughter came from Naruto. What do you mean? Orion asked, as he was calmer than before. I liberated the Vega system from the Poseidon tyranny. That is a great deed if you look at that alone. But less than 2 months passed since the Pasaians were killed. Wait a few more months or years and a new power of darkness will rise and take their place. Obviously, it won't be in the same place. But mark my word, the intergalactic power would appear and try for corruption and destruction. As he looked at the sea, that morning started to arrive. It is almost poetic. I was like the daybreak when I brought light upon the Vega system. But while morning come here, on the other side of the planet, evening falls. Just like that, while the Vega system was liberated, on the other side of the planet, on the other side of the universe, darkness will rise. This is the law of the universe. There's always a balance between light and darkness. Once the balance tip, it would be destroyed no matter what. As he looked back down Orion, so do you understand now? Even if you kill Darkseid, it would amount to nothing. Another one will arise to take his place. This is the truth of this world. This is the truth I've come to know. No matter how powerful you are, no matter if you're a god or all-powerful being, you could never extinguish evil completely. Then why did you annihilate the Pasaians if you know another force will take their place? Why do all of that if it's meaningless, Orion asks? But it wasn't meaningless for me. The Pasaians want to capture me and make me their toy. For the universe, it was nothing to me. But for them coming after me, it was crucial. And now that they're gone, I don't have to live my life looking over my shoulder for their plots. They were a powerful race, especially when it comes to technology. They were the most advanced. So eventually they would get me, no matter how long it takes. But Darkseid and I have no problem. He never acted against me. So why should I take on such a dangerous job for no utter reason, said Naruto. As I said, even if Darkseid died, another god of evil would rise in his place. There must always be a god of evil. And don't tell me I should do it for a reward. What reward would be worth for me to go up against a god of evil and his army by myself? That's suicide. You want me to do what you, High Father, and your army could not do after 1,000 of years? Do you hear yourself, Naruto asks. As Orion became silent when he put it that way, he realized how ridiculous it sounded. They have fight for 1,000 upon 1,000 of years, and he was asking one man and his fox to do that, which they could not. He let it aside, he understand what it means. Yes, it would be a suicidal mission. But he asked another question instead. If what you said about evil being indestructible, and there would just be another one to rise, why do you keep on fighting? What's the point of all of it? With such a bleak look on life, how does one muster up the strength and power to continue to fight? As Naruto looked at him, but he said nothing for a while, until he spoke. You fight to achieve your goals. You may never be able to eradicate the darkness, but that doesn't mean you cannot live in the light. You may never be able to protect every single being in the universe, but you could always devote yourself to protect the ones you love and care about. You may never achieve peace in the universe at large, but you can make peace in your city, your universe, or your hometown. Life in itself has no meaning. You give your life meaning when you find something to devote yourself to. That can be your family, or your job. Could even be a hobby, or passion or something. Not long after that, Orion left the call, as Naruto was there looking up in the sky, as Kurama then spoke beside him. So you found a new purpose in life. Previously, his goal to live was to find a way back to the Elemental Nation. He completed over 3,000 bounties, traveling to the universe just for that one thing. But when Kurama gave him that wake-up call and he realized the futility of it all, he had been broken. He was lost. Let me guess, he has to do with a certain warrior princess, doesn't it? Kurama said that chuckle. As Naruto flicked his nose. So what if it does, he said. As Kurama grumbled. Yeah, you're gonna say it's too early, but that is how I feel now. I can't help it, okay? I like her a lot and I'm happy. What's wrong with that, said Naruto. Nothing is wrong with that, but the higher the expectations, the bigger disappointment if things fall down. So I'll say it again, it's too early. You with that stupid smile on your face, said Kurama. That love-struck face you're making is gross. I just threw up in my mouth a bit, said Kurama. As Naruto grabbed him by the tail. Looks like you got a lot of courage after getting a win on me on Earth while I was weakened. Come, Kurama-sama, let's have another go at it. Now that I'm fully recovered. Kurama leaped from Naruto's hand, pulling his tail away as he ran away. You're not getting away, said Naruto as he chased after Kurama. You thought the talk, but you're too slow. Kurama says he laughed, confident that Naruto would not catch him. But something passed Kurama in top speed, as his eyes went wide, as it was a dagger, as Naruto flashed and grabbed it. Cheater, Kurama yelled as Naruto kicked it from a tree like a football. Time skip. You're in a good mood today. Well, it's been over a year since we went on a good job. I kinda missed it, Kurama said, his tails waggling behind him. I wonder who we're going to kill. As Naruto realized at his words, yes, since he rescued Superman, they had not taken a job like this for a long while now. Because he was depressed for months after realizing there was no way to find a way back home. He was just on his lush planet, and just fishing and lazing around all day. Then when they finally accepted the bounty, the rat tricked them. "We're not gonna kill anyone this time," said Naruto. "It's an espionage mission, you brute." As he typed the location of the ship. "Man, I miss our old ship," said Naruto. "Why, this one is capable of space warping as well. And it's pretty much the same size as the older one," said Grandma. "It's a bit slower and it doesn't have cloaking ability, so we can't go incognito mode anymore. This mission would have been so much easier if we can just go invisible like before, as they're currently in the Milky Way galaxy. They were to infiltrate a planet and gather intelligence. I say screw the infiltration thing and just smash your way through. I mean, who's gonna stop us," said Grandma. As Naruto laughed at his words. "Our employer wants secrecy, and that is what we have to do. Besides, not everything can be solved with force, not all the time." As Grandma grunted but not retort. "But who would have thought that Green Lantern Corps would send us a job offer? That Green Lantern from Earth said that they name us a universal threat. You think they wouldn't want to do anything with us?" It was a few days ago as Diana called him and told him that John Stewart had something very important to discuss with him. It turned out to be a job offer from the Guardians of the Universe. The two Green Lantern member there to watch over the Milky Way system was killed. 2 Green Lantern were assigned to that section, but they were killed shortly after as well. In total, 4 of them died and the Guardians did not know the reason for their deaths. Before doing something drastic like invading the place, they decided to take on a subtle approach and get some information first. The mercenary caterpillar was not surprisingly their first choice. That way, they can protect their core from any other damage, and they can start a relationship with a powerful mercenary. 2 birds, 1 stone. As Naruto looked forward as he saw the planet coming up ahead, a dark, purple planet. The robotic voice of their AI ship sounded when they got close enough. "Operator, you have received a new transmission. Should I play it?" At Naruto confirmation, a yellow-skinned man wearing a military uniform appeared. "This planet is a restricted area. Aliens are not welcome. Return at once or we will open fire." Right after that, the transmission ended. It was very blunt and short, as he then detected 5 warships. "See, that is why our previous ship was better. Seems like this could not happen if our old ship was here, because it could become invisible," said Naruto. Kurama closed his eyes and fell asleep, ignoring Naruto. As Naruto stood up, "I guess we'll just have to do it the hard way then. I see you're in no mood for this. Alright, just stay here and protect the ship then," said Naruto. "I will head down alone." Kurama was not exactly a fan of big missions that involved subtlety. Sneaking around and not doing anything, that was just a waste of his precious time. He was kind of hoping that Naruto would run in a bit of trouble for him to let loose just a bit. As his tails extended and took control of the ship, as he drove it away from the planet, so they wouldn't fire on them. As for Naruto, as he activated his cloak mode, with his 9-tailed chakra mode he could survive in the vacuum of space. As he went through hand sign and his body suddenly disappeared. This was more than enough for him to infiltrate the planet undetected. It was a technique that Jiraiya created to peep on women in bad houses. Over the years it became a technique that Naruto greatly used, as he exited the ship and started to fly down towards the planet below. As Naruto sneaked past everything without being detected, as Naruto noticed how heavily guarded the planet was. Come to think of it, Earth was the same as well. Except for Justice League, they had others, a lot of satellites that was guarding the planet and watching out. As Naruto wondered if those satellites belonged to the Justice League. He should probably talk to Diana about that. All Naruto could see was an unending mass of grey and dark purple clouds. The entire planet was covered by it. He could not see anything below. When he reached 9 miles above the ground, he reached out to get a connection with the nature of the planet to feel the energy. But he felt it. This planet, it was dying. Another planet was going to be destroyed soon. As he wondered what they did to cause this apocalypse. Are they still alive, he wonders. He saw the black and purple clouds. As he saw the city, the entire place was in ruins. It seemed a lot more advanced than Earth. Well, it used to be. Now it was empty ruins. As he got close to the ground, he saw, what the hell? What the hell happened here? As dead bodies were everywhere. He placed his hand on one of the corpses. A diagnostic technique. He ran over the body. Poison. Some madman must have released a virus and massacred the entire city. Reminds me of that war in the Quasar Galaxy 70 years ago. The people here were tall, human types with yellow skin and red eyes. As Naruto created 100 clones, spread across and investigate. If you find something worth reporting, you can dispel 1 hour from now and report. Otherwise, keep investigating. With a yell, yes boss, all of them flicker away. As Naruto took flight and left the city, going towards a random direction. As he encountered more than 50 cities, big and small, but they were all empty. He had to find the Green Lanterns as well. Well, what caused their deaths? After flying for a few hours, he managed to had completed 3 of the 5 continents of this planet. The planet was huge after all. Now he was at the outskirts of a small forest. His clothes were still out, doing investigation, as he came to a stop and leaned up against a tree. As he pulled out his device, Hello, a sleepy voice answered. My bad, I called you at the wrong time, Nurse says. It was about to terminate the call. No, don't worry, it's not night yet. I just fell asleep too early. It's just 7 o'clock in the evening. Diana says she rubbed her tired eyes. As she was still in her armor. Rough day, he asked. You don't know the half of it, she said. Then a natural disaster happened or something like that, Nurse asked. I thought you'd just like having more members now. It would be easier. No, at a first glance, things are great, she said. Much better than ever, actually. But something is worrying me about the general population. I have taken a page out of your book and spent some time on the internet. As a smirk came on his face, do not grin at me like that. I do not do it for nasty reasons. I wanted to get in touch with normal people and see how they think and look at things. And I noticed a trend over the past 2 months. Someone is creating an agenda against the metahumans. I can't say I'm too surprised, said Naruto. Imagine you're a normal person, just going to work to provide for your kids and family. And then one day, Superman ended up destroying your entire property because he was fighting against an alien. And imagine that you made a big sacrifice to buy an expensive car, and the next day it was destroyed by a battle. I understand your point. I saw many other people saying similar things on the forum. But look at the alternative. If we didn't stand up to stop the criminals, who would do it? And what would happen? There is no real solution to this as long as conflict is there. Damage will always happen. I feel like every day people appreciate less and less what we do to keep them safe. No matter what we do, it's never good enough. Others say that we should just kill the criminals and put them down like dogs, for good. While, are you opposed to that, Naruto asked? As Diane looked at him. No. I understand that some people cannot be redeemed, but no one will ever cross that line amongst Justice League. In the first place, who gives us the right to decide who get to live and who to die? Once we do something like that, the government, they will move against us. It might even escalate into a civil war. Naruto scoffed. What could they do against Justice League? What could guns do? It would be a one-sided beatdown at a war. I don't know about that. Batman finds signs of they're a secret squad of agents, creating a metahuman squad known as Suicide Squad. They're ready to move against us if the opportunity is there. As I said, things are becoming more hectic and complicated, and this anti-metahuman is getting more supporters by the day. Superman and I get the worst. Many people blame him for what he did a few years ago when he was under the control for Darkseid. As for me, she paused. Did you do something to her to ask? Not long after I left my home world, one of my Amazon sisters started chaos. She used a virus to affect man, to annihilate the population. While we defeated her quickly, there were still many men that died. Many, old ones for that fact. A lot of them. Sorry for complaining like that, she said. I just don't have anyone else to talk to. And I just work so hard. 15 to 20 hours a day, fighting crimes, arresting terrorists, patrolling, saving people from burning buildings and all that. The entire Justice League is like that. We work so hard to keep everyone safe. I'm sorry, she said. Don't be. I'm here for you. Not just when you're flirting or joking around, but when you're sad. I need to talk about your problems as well, said Naruto. After I'm done with this job, I'll come to visit you, okay? It will do you some good to have a break from all that hero stuff. She perked up hearing that. Where are you now, by the way? What's your current mission, she asked. Didn't Green Lantern tell you? It's Green Lantern core business, therefore it's classified, she said. As she talked in a voice that sounded like him, making the both of them laugh. I'm investigating death of 4 members of Green Lantern Corps in the single system, in the Milky Way galaxy. They want me to... Naruto, behind you, she said. As Naruto spun and grabbed a vine-like tentacle that tried to wrap around his neck. Several more vines burst towards him as he flipped back. He was so involved in this conversation with Wonder Woman, he wasn't even focused on his surroundings. What the hell is this thing, Naruto said as a goo dropped from his hand. That's gross. Gotta hang up, Diana. I'll talk to you later, he said. He was about to hang up, but something dropped from the tree and lashed onto the back of his head. As his eyes went white as he collapsed to his knees, the thing wrapped around his head. As he collapsed down, from the view that Wonder Woman could see, she could see him on the ground and not moving at all. Naruto! Naruto! Naruto, wake up! She cried out. But guys, I'll be in this episode right here. If it was the next part of this, I don't know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications I posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.